دور دولة الإمارات دائما سباق، ودائما الجهود مستمرة وقائمة لتعزيز مش بس الرفاهية، الصحة العامة للسكان سواء مقيمين أو مواطنين. دولة الإمارات يعني تسعى دائما لضمان أفضل الخدمات الصحية اللي ممكن نوفرها للمجتمع. التوعية بالتصلب المتعدد خاصة في الاحتفالات العالمية ليوم التصلب العالمي للتصلب المتعدد، لازم احنا نتذكر يعني معاناة الأشخاص. عندنا في السنة تقريبا يشخص 19 من كل 100,000 في الإمارات بالتصلب المتعدد، وكلهم في سن الشباب. احنا وايد مهم عندنا جزء التوعية في هذا المرض. التوعية هني تيجي بعد مع سرعة التشخيص، لكن احنا دائما نبى نسبق بخطوات. احنا دائما نتكلم نعم عن أهمية التشخيص، بس لازم بعد نتكلم عن إذا قدرنا ان احنا بعد نتفادى هذا المرض من ناحية العلم الجديد والتطورات والأبحاث المستمرة في هذا المجال. هذا العام تركز الحملات أكثر شيء على التشخيص، وإن شاء الله في الحملات الجاية نركز أكثر على التوعية في كل حملاتنا، مع إن شاء الله اجتناب أو إذا نقدر نسعى إلى وجود حلول شافية لهذا المرض. هدف تنظيم الجمعية لمجلس التصلب هو صياغة مستقبل داعم للمتعايشين بمرض التصلب المتعدد في الإمارات. احنا نريد نجمع كل حد في هاي المنظومة، جهات حكومية خاصة، جهات تنظيمية، مقدمين رعاية صحية، مؤسسات تأمين، شركات أدوية، والعوائل أيضا في كل في هاي المنظومة. احنا نسعى إلى وضع أجندة وطنية تغطي كافة الاحتياجات المتعايشين من التصلب المتعدد، ودائما احنا نحب نسمع هذه الاحتياجات منهم نفسهم على أساس أن نحن نقدر نتحرك فيها أسرع وأسرع. خلال المجلس تم الإعلان عن الشراكة الوطنية للتصلب المتعدد. ستعزز الشراكة مهمة الجمعية الوطنية للتصلب المتعدد، وهو توفير الدعم والموارد، قيادة الأبحاث الخاصة، وأيضاً بعد بتخلينا نتعاون بين المنظمات الحكومية وغير الحكومية والخاصة من حيث الاجتماعات الدورية اللي بنعملها معاهم عشان نقيس مدى التأثير مقابل مؤشرات الأداء الرئيسية لهذا الغرض. أولويات الجمعية الوطنية للتصلب المتعدد في عام 2024: أول شيء في 3 محاور رئيسية: رفع مستوى الوعي للتصلب المتعدد، توفير الدعم والموارد للمجتمع، ودفع جهود البحث حتى الوصول لعلاج، وأنا دائما بكرر، شاف لهذا المرض. تهدف الجمعية للتوعية بالتصلب المتعدد وأهمية أيضا التشخيص السريع في هذا المرض. نبغى نحفز المجتمع على دعم المتعايشين مع التصلب المتعدد بشتى الطرق، بمساهمات عينية أو مادية، ولدعم المتعايشين مع التصلب المتعدد عبر لجنة طبية استشارية للجمعية صحيا نفسيا، وأيضا نوفر المواد والموارد المساعدة لهم وتوجيههم لاتباع حياة صحية. نسعى لقيادة البحث المتخصص في التصلب المتعدد تمهيدا لإيجاد علاج، وإن شاء الله نقدر نشوف الشفاء قريبا.
Some of the challenges that people living with MS face in the United Arab Emirates are a lack of awareness, both among themselves and among their family and the community at large. Also, the social stigmas, some lack of awareness among their employers, employer awareness, employee awareness about the illness, about how it presents, because everyone presents differently. So sometimes it can be hard for employers to quite understand what MS is because everybody has different symptoms. Third thing is medication, a lack of access to medication or difficulty receiving medications in a timely manner. And that is something that we would like to improve. The final thing is we need research. Lack of research, high quality research in this region on this population to better understand what are the causes and how we can better treat this illness. I'm a big believer in societies. Societies have many roles, and many responsibilities. I think, in regards to the society, our mission is we want to increase awareness to people with MS, to the community at large. We want to improve medication access to facilities that can treat people with MS, and we want to encourage research. but also the society. It's a voice. It's the collective voice of everybody who has multiple sclerosis in this country to help project our voice to the regulatory authorities and to the institutions that can help these people. And this can be done by the society. So the society, in a way, it's our microphone that can help address our struggles, our issues, hopefully so that we can get better awareness, research, funding, and medication rights. There was one time a saying I heard, everybody's MS is everyone's MS. No two people have the same disease. The symptoms present differently, and the severity can present differently. And that's why it can be extremely frustrating for patients, as well as sometimes physicians, to try to figure out, is this MS or is this something else? But if we think about who's most at risk of MS, think of young, predominantly women, 20s to 40s. Now, MS can occur in men, but it's usually 66% of the time, or 2/3 of the time, it affects women more than men. Young. Also, anybody who has waxing and waning symptoms that come and go over a period of time. And the symptoms can be many, and they vary from person to person. Someone may have vision disturbance, blindness, they can't see in one eye. They could have double vision. They could have difficulty walking, difficulty with balance, weakness, paralysis. Now, you don't have to have all these symptoms. You may only have one of these symptoms that comes and goes over a period of time. But I think the most important thing is you have to think about MS. If you don't think about the illness, you may not diagnose it. So if someone is young, 20 to 40, now men and women, I told you it doesn't matter, it affects both. But if you're young between the 20 and 40, and you have waxing and waning symptoms that come and go over 24 hours, over a couple weeks and months, where you get new symptoms, you would go see a neurologist and tell them about your symptoms. And this is where he will do an MRI of your brain and your spinal cord after doing a thorough examination to see if there's any spots or white matter lesions, what we call in Arabic تسلبات. If you have that, then that may show that you have multiple sclerosis. And then once the diagnosis is confirmed, then we would talk about treatments and what treatment is best for you. When I was 21 years old, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I was a medical student at the time. I didn't know anything about MS. I had never heard of it, nor had I ever known anyone with MS. And even though I'm a medical student, I should be studying these things. And then I graduated, and it made me want to learn more and more about this illness because I was curious, and I became a neurologist. Then, alhamdulillah, in 2012, I came to the United Arab Emirates, and it quickly dawned to me that we have great institutions, we have excellent physicians, and we have resources, and there's always people that are willing to help. But what we didn't have, or what I felt that we didn't have the communication. People with MS didn't quite know how to how to maneuver the system the best way possible. They felt lost. Imagine you're a 21-year-old male like me, and you're coming and you see this massive medical centers, and you've never been here. How do you go? Where do you start? Where do you end? How do you get your meds? And I was a physician, and I was struggling to figure this out. So I said, what would this poor kid, how would he figure it out? And this is why I said, we need to make a more organized facility where someone would come from the very beginning to the time of diagnosis to treatment, and they would get access to everything they need. And we're here to help them so they don't get lost. So my dream is to develop a national MS center where people can receive their treatments, receive all their care, receive the specialists they need, and we help them not just in regards to medications and physicians, but also what programs are available, how do they apply to these programs, what is their right as a person living with MS or a person of determination. And that is my goal.